What's up, guys? Don't worry, I'm not going to be talking to the mic like that the whole time. Guys, welcome to the Brightside Podcast. I'm so happy you're here, even though it's probably like my mom and my sister. But like a view is a view, y'all. Anyways, who am I? What am I doing? I'm Jacy. I'm your host. So happy to be here. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. This podcast is not just like a get me famous. No, I kind of just don't do anything with my life right now. That sounds super sad. I'm very grateful, actually, for this period of my life. You know, I don't have a lot of responsibility. I have a dog, that's about it. I'm trying to get a job. Guys, I'm really trying, I swear. Like, my dad is like, you got a job yet? And I'm like, I swear, like, I've applied to every single place ever. It's just, it's not my luck right now, you know? Maybe I am gonna have to start using, like, the parent method where you just walk in there, like, hey, I need a job. Because at this point, like, I'm desperate, y'all. I did have a job interview today, though, at a tanning salon, which would be perfect. I thought it went well. They said they'll get back to me. But I also had, like, 2 job interviews before this where they said the same thing. And I just never heard back. What is it? Like, I've never had this happen to me. I've had a few jobs in my lifetime. Not a lot, but I've had a few. And anytime I go in for an interview, I've always gotten the job. Once I've been trying to get one here in Lubbock, it has not worked at all. I don't know what it is. Maybe they just don't like me. But whatever. I'm trying to get a job. I'm trying to do things with my life. But yeah, I'm really just grateful to have, like, a very slow, like, I'm not doing much. It's summer. I'm not in school yet. I live alone. I'm 19 years old. Like, I'm living life, y'all. But I do get very, I don't want to say bored. I just get very lost in, like, time where I just feel like I'm not doing anything. And I want to do something a little bit productive, even if it's just talking to a microphone that I bought 2 years ago for the OG podcast, y'all. If you're a real fan, you know the Yo Chat Let's Chat podcast that me and shout out Maddie, we had. It's her birthday today, y'all. If I post this today, y'all wish her a happy birthday. Turning 19. Anyways, we had that podcast back in high school, and though it was for, like, kind of a high school project, it was so fun. Like, we kind of did our own thing with it. We had a lot of fun, and we were just, like, constantly laughing. I went back and tried to look at them at the episodes. There's only one, and it's pretty funny, but go check it out. Anyways, this is the Brightside Podcast. Now, what is it going to be about? Literally anything, everything. There is no niche, guys. I do not have a niche. Also, these videos, these episodes, they're not going to be edited. Number 1, I don't like editing. I think it's such a pain in the ass. 2, we're just going to keep it raw because everything's better raw. Mom, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. Anyways, I have been through a lot of things in my life in the past couple of years that have just brought me to this area of, like, I'm in a good place now. I'm super happy. And sometimes, like, all it takes for me to be happy is to just look on the bright side. I know that sounds so cliche and honestly kind of cringy, but it's true. Like, I could look at my life right now, even, and be, like, down in the dumps and sad and just, like, whatever over the stuff that's going on, but I'm not, because I'm here and I'm like, I'm 19, I live alone. Like, this is life, guys. I'm so happy. Like, I am 100% a believer in you're the one who controls your feelings. Like, yes, things are going to happen to you. 10% of things is what happens to you, and 90% of it is how you respond to it. And I do believe in that 100%, because I think a lot of times you look at people and you would never guess that these types of people have been through the ringer, you know? They've been through so much, and they're, like, the most joyful people and the most kind people at heart. And you kind of wonder, like, how did this person go through all that? And I had no idea. And it's because they don't let it ruin their life, y'all. Like, they don't let it affect them. I cannot stand people. This is especially for men in relationships, maybe even girls too. But for me, it's like a guy will be like, sorry, like, I treated you like shit. Like, my girlfriend who was 16 at the time, like, broke my heart and I've never been the same. Oh my Lanta, get over yourself. You're a grown-ass man. just be lucky you didn't get her pregnant and that you're living life. Like, that's a big thing for me whenever people blame, like, other people for their trauma and for their actions. I hate that. Because honestly, like, I could be doing the same, and maybe sometimes I have. I'm in a constant just kind of journey of, like, healing, and I don't want to say finding myself, but just discovering new parts of myself. Because I saw this quote, and it was on a TikTok. I think his name is T Sleeves, and he does poetry. And it was like things you need to know in your 20s or something like that. I recommend I saw it on TikTok. You'll need to go watch this video. It's so good. But one of the things he said is you need to stop, like, trying to, this phrase of, I'm just discovering who I am. I need to find myself. And it's like, if you're trying to find yourself, then who's the one trying to find yourself? Like, who are you? Like, you are you. You know what? That might sound kind of stupid, but it really spoke to me, because it's like a lot of people are like, oh, I just need to, like, do this and find myself. I just need to go travel the world and figure out who I am. Like, cool. You can go discover new parts of yourselves and transform into a better version of yourself, but, like, you are who you are. Like, and a lot of that is trying to, like, I guess, find your identity. And for me, that was a really hard thing that I had to do in the past couple of years, is figure out what is my identity. Especially because I grew up playing sports. That was a huge part of my life, was volleyball for about 10 years, from age like 9 to, I want to say, like 17 is when I quit, maybe 16. I don't know. But that's all who I was as a person. Like, if you knew me, you knew volleyball. If I knew you, you knew volleyball. Like, that's all it was. And well, it was super fun, and I didn't take it too seriously all the time. Like, I had a lot of fun, but that's all who I was. That's all I could, like, say I stood for, and my future was planned around that. My plans were, like, everything was planned around this sport. And so whenever I kind of fell into this, like, really bad mental space, and I had 3 knee surgeries, and I quit that, I was so stuck of, like, who am I? Like, I'm not good at anything besides what I just quit, and now I don't have that anymore. So there's nothing for me anymore. And unfortunately, I did believe those lies that I told myself. I believed that there's nothing for me. I don't know what I'm doing with my life, whatever. And I fell into, like, a really, really bad state of mind. And eventually, I did get, like, mentally diagnosed with mental illness. I think it was, I know it was bipolar depression, anxiety. And from that, I actually had someone ask me yesterday, how did you feel whenever you were diagnosed with that? Because this guy was also diagnosed with bipolar depression. He had reached out to me, or vice versa. But I was kind of just like, actually, I was relieved whenever I figured out I was struggling and I actually had a name for something, because for about a year, I think I was just this really sad, angry, irritated, just bleh of a person who, like, couldn't get out of bed, who didn't go to school, who couldn't have a conversation with anyone or her parents, or didn't want to hang out with her friends. And I just thought, like, whatever, like, this is who I am now. Screw all of you, I don't care. But whenever I figured out, like, oh my gosh, there is something chemically wrong in my brain, I was really just relieved that I felt validated. But then eventually I was kind of like, you know what, this is who I am forever. Like, this is my identity. I found my identity in that diagnosis, which is really sad, guys. If you are struggling with mental illness or you have a diagnosis, that is not who you are whatsoever. That is a challenge for you. That is something that you have to fight. It's not who you are. But I did believe that. And so my mental illness became a big part of who I was. And of course, I found comfort in it, but it also was just so bad to where I got to a point that I didn't want to live anymore. And so, of course, when you're sick, you're always going to have, like, not always, but I had a lot of suicidal tendencies. And they weren't super extreme all the time, to the extent that they could be, but eventually I did end up really just trying to take my life. And it didn't work, of course, which sometimes I laugh about it now. I'm like, damn, like I couldn't even do that. But I'm so grateful, don't get me wrong. But I think about a year and a half ago, it was my senior year, I ended up just taking a bunch of prescription medications. And when I say a bunch, I don't mean like 10. Like I think I took about 30 to 40 pills. Because keep in mind, these medications that I had, I didn't actually take them like the way I was supposed to. I didn't think I needed them, and I didn't want to take them. But I ended up taking about like a handful of pills. And for a week, I didn't even like, I don't know, like guys, I didn't eat or sleep or anything. And I was still functioning. Like it was so crazy because during that week, I thought I was like the best person on earth. Like I was like, this is great. Like guys, I'm back. No, guys, I was just manic as hell. Like so manic. And eventually I hit a crash to where I was like, holy shit. Like I think I probably was maybe hallucinating a little bit. But what I'm getting at, guys, is during this, I did have kind of a spiritual encounter with God. And now you're probably thinking, okay, well, you were cracked out. Like, no shit. You probably saw God. Yes, maybe. But at the same time, the aftermath of this whole experience is how I know it was God. Yeah, so I ended up like seeing Jesus and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is all I've ever needed in my life. I literally have a Snapchat memory and it's like me taking a picture of the exact moment that it happened, like at the sun. And I was like, OMG, like I never thought I would genuinely feel the presence of God. And this is all I've ever needed in life. Cool. But then cut to, this is on my way to high school. This is on my way to like pick up my friend. Cut to, I end up going to see my therapist who I had at the school. And yes, guys, I had a therapist in high school. It was fucking awesome. I miss her all the time. But I think I remember I walked in there and I told her and I was like, I'm healed. Like everything is great, except I think I'm gonna die. Because I had all these like, whatever, guys, like you'll remember I haven't eaten or sleeping. I just took a ton of pills like a week ago. And so I end up going to a hospital, getting myself checked out. But what I'm saying, this is a long story. I didn't think I was going to tell it on here, guys. At least not yet. What I'm saying is I came to Christ. And I'm not saying after that my life was just like, oh, fun and dandy. No. Like, God gave me a bunch of trials after that I had to get through. But it felt so much lighter because I knew, like, okay, I can do it. Because, like, God is here. It's as simple as that, really. But I found my identity in Christ. And that, I think, is what completely changed me. Now, I'm not saying that I was completely healed. I mean, of course, I still have some tendencies of a mental illness, but I would never like be like, oh, like I'm super, super depressed because I have bipolar depression, or like I don't have these strong feelings of depression or anxiety anymore. I do not have suicidal tendencies, even though sometimes I stub my toe or like someone looks at me wrong and I'm like, let me just go kill myself. That's not funny, guys. Let me not joke about that, but I can because I did. But yeah, God changed my life. And before y'all say anything, like this is not a podcast for me being like, I'm going to get all y'all to come to Christ. That's my only goal, like whatever. No, like I'm not going to be here just preaching scripture and all that stuff, but I will say it's a huge part of who I am, and really the only reason we're all here is to live for Christ, point others to him, and then die and live with him for eternity. Those three things. That's the only reason we're here. So I guess you could say that's part of the purpose here, but I'm not a perfect Christian. I'm not at all. No. And no one's a perfect Christian. But I think some people they're going to limit what they put out there of themselves or whatever. And I'm not going to do that. I mean, I'm going to tell y'all what I do. I'm going to tell y'all my life. I'm going to tell y'all my thoughts. And sometimes those are not all going to align with my perfect Christian values. Now, do I strive to be a good Christian? Do I strive to get to know Jesus better? 100%. That's my goal. But I'm still a 19-year-old girl. Like, I'm still living life. And this is not going to be perfect. So if that's what you're here for, if you're here for like a young Christian podcast girl, that's not me, guys. There are a lot of those out there, so go find one. But this is just going to be chaotic. But yeah, what else? I go to school at Texas Tech. I never really wanted to come to Lubbock, guys. My goal was to just get as far away as possible. I really wanted to go to California for a long time. North Carolina, Colorado, all those schools I applied to. Texas Tech was the only school that Texas Tech was the only school I applied to that was in Texas, because I just thought, I need a backup just in case, not like I'm going to go there, it doesn't matter. And also, whenever I applied to all these schools, it was a big shift for me because I had always had a plan to play sports in college. Like, my plan was to always play volleyball in college, and that would just be that. I never thought I would really go the, I guess, normal route. Not saying, like, there's anything wrong with it. I'm super happy where I'm at, but it was just a big switch of plans. And so I was like, I have this opportunity to kind of just choose wherever I want to go. And I wasn't thinking about money. I mean, granted, I probably should have, but my parents weren't going to limit me based on that. They wanted me to go where I wanted to go and be happy. And so I thought that being happy would be thousands of miles away. But after I had this little, like, I guess you could say, encounter with God, I just felt it on my heart that, like, for some reason you need to go to Lubbock, Texas and visit it. So I call up, like, I'm like in my room and I'm like, yes, this is so right. And so I text my mom and I'm like, hey, cancel the trip to SDSU. Like, we were supposed to book it to California, San Diego, that weekend. And I think I texted her on like a Thursday and I was like, we're not going anymore. Like, we're going to Tech. I think I need to go there. And she's like, huh? And I'm like, yeah, no, this is what's happening. And I remember telling my dad, and he was kind of like, he did the same thing. He was like, what the hell? Like, we have never, what do you mean? And I couldn't have told you. They were like, why do you want to go there? And I was probably like making up some random shit. Like, oh, like, blah, blah. No, I just felt the need to go there. And whenever I came and visited, y'all, this shit was disgusting. We went on a tour. It was raining and sleeting, probably in the 30s. Disgusting. Oh my gosh, my poor, like, whoever the girl is who, like, walks you around, my tour guide, she was a bundle of joy, except her eye, like, her mascara the whole time. She just had, like, snow in her eyelashes, and, like, her mascara is, like, plunging down her, like, face, and she's just like, and this is the library. Like, honestly, I loved it. There was nothing I hated about it. There was nothing that was like, you maybe should explore other options. No, I was very set on this. So I came here. Well, actually, I didn't get here till spring semester, just because of all the stuff that was going on after graduation. I just felt the need to stay home in Austin for another year. Yeah, I decided to move into an apartment in downtown Austin by myself at 18 years old, y'all. No friends, no nothing. I was doing online school. I did end up getting a job, though, at, like, this Restore Hyper Wellness. Shout out Restore. I miss that job a lot, and I miss my coworkers there. But I just knew, like, this is not the place for me. I was like, God, why am I here? Like, what am I doing here? And I honestly still couldn't tell you. Like, guys, I was paying $1,300 a month for a 500 square foot apartment. It was so shitty. I also, like, started a fire in that apartment, but it's okay. Basically, I was like, screw this. So I was like, Mom, we need to break my lease. I was there for about 4 months, from August of 2025 until November, December. And I was like, we got to break the lease. So we break the lease, and I end up in Lubbock as a freshman my spring semester, and I loved it. There was nothing, I can't say, like, it's everything I expected, because it wasn't. I mean, nothing's gonna go as you expected, but it was better. It was good for me. Now, I didn't make a bunch of friends, but that's kind of just who I am. I'm not great at making friends, unfortunately. I don't know why. Like, guys, I'm literally so fun and so awesome. Like, that's part of the reason I'm doing it. I'm not saying, like, I'm posting a podcast and I'm expecting everyone to hit me up and be my friend, but just, like, I need to get better at putting myself out there, because I am very picky about who I surround myself with and who I put in my circle, just because I do believe, like, your friends are such a big reflection of your character and who you are going to morph into. And so I'm very picky about that, and I like to surround myself with people who allow me to be, like, my authentic self and aren't just kind of like a side character because I'm lonely. Guys, it is so much better to be alone and feel alone than to surround yourself with people who make you feel not good about yourself, or they just don't reflect, like, the people. What I'm saying is, be alone if you can. If you have great friends, great. Like, my friends, guys, I would lay my life down for my friends. There's not one of them that I look at and I'm like, Like, no, guys. My friends are, I would die for them. They're awesome. Shout out y'all, guys. If you are listening, I love you so much. They have been through so much with me and just, like, all of my bullshit, all of my stages of life, and they've all been so supportive of me. And they've helped me, and they told me, like, hard truths. Guys, whenever I tell you, I was not a great person all the time. One of the memories that I always just think about anytime I'm like, damn, like, I was down bad, but it was funny, is there was one night in high school, I think it was my junior year, that, again, I was kind of just like, I have no idea what had me feeling down, but I was like, give me my bottle of prescription pills, let me take a bunch and just, like, hate myself. So I did that, but of course this time I wasn't really, like, wanting to, I kind of just was like, just do it. And that's what I did a lot of the times. I was so reckless with my life to where I would just be like, don't care, let's do it. But I text my friends because I'm like, fuck. Like, I start to feel a little bit sick. And I'm like, I need to throw up. Like, I need to throw up. I couldn't throw up. So I text Maddie and Kate. And I'm like, guys, like, I just did this thing and I don't know what's gonna happen. And we're over here, like, Googling, like, what is the lethal dose of this? Like, how much of this milligrams, all this shit. And so I end up passing out on my bed because, of course, I'm probably hit, like, some sort of, like, serotonin crash or whatever. I wake up to Maddie's hand over my mouth and all I hear is, she's breathing. And I just, like, Kate starts dying laughing because Kate is there too. And I'm like, how the hell? Guys, it's 11:30 p.m. on a school night. How are y'all in my house right now? And they're like, we snuck out and we came to make sure you were alive. And I was like, oh my goodness. Kate apparently, like, crawled out of her house, like, like, army crawled so she wouldn't get caught by the camera. Maddie sneaks out. I guess they tried to come in through my window or were, like, throwing a rock at my window. But my windows, y'all, are, like, 20 feet up. Like, they were not getting that. So they come through my front door. And, of course, my dad's on the couch because my dad stays up super late. And they walk in through the door. And I guess he was like, hey, like, what are y'all doing here? And they decided they would tell him that they just came from the movies and that they were just coming to make sure I was okay. Well, my dad goes, oh, what movie? Maddie goes, oh, just tennis. And at the same time, Maddie was like, Kate goes, golf. And so they were like, tennis, golf. Like, bro, I think this was the time that Serena Vanderwoodson movie came out, or, like, the tennis one. And so I'm sure my dad was like, oh, okay. But then they came to make sure I was alive, and I was, and I wake up, and I'm kind of just, like, in this daze. And, like, we just start dying laughing, and I'm like, damn, like, it didn't work. Like, and, like, that in a nutshell is, like, what my high school experience was me being hella depressed, my friends, like, being there for me all the time, but then it just being really funny until it got to a point it wasn't as funny anymore. But, like, yeah, that's the craziness of it. But yeah, no, I do have some really great friends and I miss them, but that's my goal, is to just kind of, like, make some friends here. Luckily Jaden just moved back. She's from Colorado, but we, like, connected last year. We were supposed to be roommates this year and live in a house together, but I got this little shit Veda, and it didn't end up working out, which, like, whatever, because I'm really happy where I'm at, and, like, we're still best friends, whatever, and I'm excited about it. But she's here now, and so I'm not just, like, alone and love it completely, so that'll be fun. I do kind of want to go out to the bars, though, while no one's here, because I can't, like, I love kind of when a bar is just, like, dead empty and it's just, like, you and, like, your friend or something. But Jaden's on her sober journey, and it kind of got me thinking the other night, because I was like, maybe I should do the same, at least until, like, school starts. Veda, stop playing with the bone. But I was like, maybe I should kind of go on my sober journey too, because I'm over here, like, drinking alone in my room. Sorry, Mom, if you see this. I don't drink alone in my room a lot, but I'm just like, it's not good for me. I feel so shitty whenever I drink alcohol, y'all. Like, not even like, oh, the next morning hungover. No, like, during it. I do not feel good. I feel gross. I feel bad about myself. As a lot of the times I won't even get that drunk, and so I'm just like, why did I even do that? I'm sorry, but I'm one of those people who's like, if I'm going to drink, I'm going to get drunk. Like, alcohol does not taste good enough to be like, let's just sip on a bev and, like, have a good time. No, y'all, like, let's get twisted. Let's have fun. But again, what I was saying is maybe I do need to go on my sober journey, because it gets to a point where it's like, what am I doing? Like, do I really need to be drinking a bottle of vodka and lemonade alone in my room? No. No, guys. I did just buy a bedazzling kit, which I'm really excited about. I'm just gonna start bedazzling everything I own. These are my plans, y'all. Like, I do not have big plans for myself. My plan is like, ooh, I'm gonna bedazzle my hairbrush this week. Or like, oh, I might go try a new coffee place. Those are my plans. But, guys, I think that keeps life good. Because, again, God has your plan. God has your plan all figured out for you. Yes, you need to, like, work towards, like, certain goals. I mean, like, I'm in college right now. I'm getting a degree. But, like, you don't need to have your life planned out, y'all. You just need to, like, make yourself... Oh, microphone falling. You don't need to have your life planned out. You just need to make yourself happy, like, one day at a time. Because that's all you get is one day at a time. And tomorrow's never guaranteed. So just don't make all these huge plans and stress yourself out. I don't think it's worth that. Especially when your path is already paved for you. Same thing, like, with men. I think I'm in this spot in my life where I'm like, I want a boyfriend. Like, I want a husband. That's all I want right now. And I do have to, like, catch myself and be like, Jacy, you are 19 years old. Like, some people do not get married until they're, like, 50. Granted, that is not gonna be me, y'all. I don't care. I want a man. I know a lot of the times people are gonna be like, okay, like, you seem like a man hater. I'm not, guys. I love men. I just think they absolutely suck sometimes. Why do they have to suck sometimes? Why can't they just all be like sunshine and rainbows? Like, whatever. Let me look. Like, I love them. And I really want one. But it's really hard for me because I'm a very, very independent person. Like, I'm not someone who likes to rely on someone else or feel like someone else is relying on me. A lot of the times that puts a lot, like, I do not like pressure. Whenever I feel like one of my past relationships, it was probably, granted I was not a good girlfriend, but like that was one of like the worst things I've ever been through in my entire life, because I was like, if I'm happy, he's upset that I'm happy without him. Or if I'm sad, he is honest, like, it was just bad. I was like, if I'm sad, like, I feel bad because why am I sad whenever my life is so good? It was just a bad relationship, and I felt like all the time, like, I had to just kind of reflect what he was feeling and what he was doing, or else, like, it was an issue. And, like, I hate that so much. Veda, please stop playing with your bone. But what I'm saying is I just don't like being the cause for people's feelings or, like, being what they need. It's really hard for me, but it doesn't stop me from trying, guys. Like, I'm in a place where I'm like, you need to start looking. And I am. And it's going good-ish. I mean, it's trial and error, y'all. Like, I'm not one to be like, damn, that didn't work out. That was the love of my life. Like, let me just never look again. No, y'all. Like, I'm on it, and I'm done, and I'm done, and I'm done. Like, I will find one man. If it doesn't work out, on to the next. Maybe that's not good, but whatever. Like, I'm not disappointed because something doesn't work out. Like, even just a little bit ago, like, I was talking to this guy for about 3 to 4 months. We'd started talking in March, and then he just, like, didn't care anymore, and I was kind of just like, F it. I mean, I could get into that a little bit more, but, like, what are the odds he's watching? I doubt it. If you are, actually, I don't care. What up, bro? If you are watching, you kind of suck. Anyways, love you, though. But we started talking in March, and, like, we met on Hinge. We hit it off. It was great. Like, we hung out. We vibed a lot. Cool. Whatever. I moved home for, like, 2 months, like, a month and a half, during the summer, and we don't really talk. Ever. Like, there was never a time he reached out to me and texted me or was like, how was your day? What are you doing? How are you feeling? Not once. And for, like, a long time, I was kind of just like, whatever, guys. Like, he's not a texter. Like, we're still, like, locked in. I don't care. Like, he just doesn't like to talk on the phone. Then I moved back to Lubbock, and this man just, like, starts like ignoring me, not talking to me, whatever. And I'm kind of just like, you're like a grown ass 22-year-old man, and all you do is like drink and like hang out with your friend. Like, that's all you do? I don't know. And I kind of just was like romanticizing something that was not there at all, y'all. I look back, even in, like whenever we were both here in Lubbock, there was not one time he asked me if I wanted to hang out. It was always me being like, hey, what are you doing? Yada yada. Granted, like, yeah, he did work a lot, but if he wanted to, he freaking would. Like, damn. Basically, I just had to like get out of that. And I wasn't really, a lot of the times after shit like that happens, I do get like very hurt or just like whatever, like I'm always the girl before the relationship. And I usually do get like pretty sad about it. But this time I was kind of just like, the disrespect is so freaking loud right now. I don't even care. Like, on to the next. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Some of you might be thinking like, okay, that's kind of a bit much. Like, maybe you should slow down. But it's not like I'm doing anything crazy. Like, I'm genuinely just getting to know people. Yeah. Currently I'm talking to someone. I'm not going to get into that right now because he might be listening and I don't want him to. And it's very early on. But I fuck with it. I'm having a good time. Anyways, that's me. Guys, I have some notes written down so that I wouldn't get too off track, but I guarantee you, like, nothing on here is going according to plan. But honestly, I'm kind of at a point where I think we could maybe end out this episode because y'all have gotten to know me a little bit. And guys, these next episodes, they're definitely going to be better. This one is just hard because it's like, how do I, as like a random girl, like just start a podcast and explain myself to you? But I hope through me just yapping away that y'all could kind of figure out who I am, kind of my vibe, what I'll be talking about. Again, there is no niche, but a lot of the things that I will be talking about is kind of just mental health, growing up, college, being alone, growing in your faith, learning to love yourself, friendships, and just kind of getting through life. But yeah, I'm really just excited for the next episodes to come. If y'all were listening this whole time, thank y'all so much. Be sure to come back for the next episode. Until next time, look on the bright side.